The Manifestation of the Sons of God, Chapter 38, The End of Illusion. In some Eastern religions or philosophies, they refer to this present existence as Maya, or illusion. They believe that this temporal realm, as we viewed through our eyes, is but a passing illusion, that the real world exists in the spirit. It's interesting because this is true. This passing age is an illusion. And why is that? Because the God of this age has at his fingertips the ability to manipulate what you see around you. That is actually an understatement, for everything around you is in a constant state of flux. For the sons of God, however, there is only one reality, his word. That is and will always be our plumb line. In this section, we have continued to probe deeply into what is behind the scenes as God brings forth a renewing of the mind. Our responses to this passing illusion must give way. We cannot continue to react to the appearance of things, to the emotions and stimuli that continue to be generated toward us. We must come up higher, because in the realm of soul is illusion and deception. We just need to fly up above the clouds where the sun is shining. The word speaks of this present age, which exists under the power of the evil one, as enveloping the earth like a canopy. 1 James 5. It is a veil woven by the spirits of this age, creating illusion after illusion. This illusion has had deep inroads into the conditioning of God's people, for the illusion that is created and designed to make you feel as though what you're searching for is still a great distance away. This same illusion is that which has separated God's people from the fulfillment of his word, fostering within the hearts and minds of his people a feeling that fulfillment is not yet in their grasp. Always reaching, but never destined to attain. From Proverbs 13, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is a tree of life. That has been the difficulty as the sons continue to move more deeply in this time of their sojourn, because the sons are sojourning out of a life based in the realm of illusion into a life that is anchored and based in the realm of truth. The operation of the spirit of illusion has woven the appearances of delay and separation, creating in many almost a heart sickness for the lack of fulfillment and release. Unless you're walking in the Spirit, it will be difficult to rightly discern the truth, for nothing is as it appears outwardly. That alone can be a difficult transition, because we are so prone to believe in what our eyes tell us and what our senses perceive. Yet so much of it is illusion. We know that if you walk according to the soul, that you will be susceptible to the illusion of this passing age. And we've said this before. So often our battles are against paper dragons, that which has no substance, no reality, fabricated by the spirit of illusion. An illusion created within the mind, just waiting for you to give it credence. It is absolutely necessary that we wait before him. As each day unfolds, situations may come crashing down, but we must realize that what we see and what is focused towards us is being created by a spirit world that seeks to destroy the man-child, you. Rather than dealing with the problem on this apparent level of reality, we need to take it up a notch or two and deal with it from a leverage in the realm of spirit. We will not react, nor will we respond to the illusion that is being constantly generated. It is created to move you off of your positioning in God. I know there are times when the illusion can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have any food on the table or money in your pocket. yet it's still an illusion. And the real answer will not be found on the level of the senses. The real answer will be found in the realm of spirit. The answer will be found as you move into the authority of the kings and priests of God, and the mantle of Christ's authority through you that begins to stop this train dead in its tracks. How often words have come to us to stop fighting the battle from this physical level, or this realm of the soul, for it's in the realm of spirit that we exercise the real control. If finances have been a battle, then we need to discern what is working in the spirit, rather than believing the answer can be resolved on a physical plane. It's like sickness. Science has researched and come to the conclusion that over 90% of sickness is in the mind. You are literally what you believe. How often in the Word we saw Christ rebuke an infirmity and the spirit would leave. We are dealing with the spirit world. The sons have been birthed into a life in the spirit as they progressively begin to walk in both worlds at the same time. It's a spirit world that seeks to work in darkness, a spirit world that seeks to keep you unaware of their existence, a spirit world that wants to keep you beating your head against the wall trying to find answers and solutions. So what is the answer? We must get out of seeing with our eyes, get out of responding with our emotions, and come up higher. Since birth we have drawn the conclusion that what we see is real. But I believe we're beginning to recognize that that's not necessarily the truth. So let's talk about quantum physics for a moment. The theory of quantum physics stipulates that reality is in an ever-changing state of flux, depending upon your personal viewpoint. So in essence, how you view the reality around you molds and shapes that reality, which then becomes your truth. I know this can be a lot of words to decipher, but in other words, you determine your own reality, and in your perception, you literally create a physical manifestation of it. Whether something was true or not at the onset, your personal perception creates it to be so. That's why we have to be so very careful how we think. You know, the scripture in Proverbs, as a man thinks, so is he. That really has a great deal of truth to it. But as we change our view of reality, our view of what we see, quantum physics stipulates that our reality shifts to mold to our new internal viewpoint. So it's very interesting how you could see with a certain level of sight or perception, and you have a view of reality, and it begins to manifest according to your perception. But as you change in your ability to see, literally as the mind is more progressively renewed, you begin to see a greater truth, and your perception of your reality at that point begins to mold and manifest according to your belief. It's a very, very deep topic, but we are more involved in creating a reality, and it's very interesting for the Lord, who appears and says, "This is so, this is so. I have given you this, I have given you that. You have resurrection life." So he presents it to you. And your reality, your internal reality needs to shift to begin to accept that. And in accepting that, it'll begin to manifest as your new reality. It's very, very interesting. We've been talking all along about the power that we have to create, and that we're co-creators with God, and that's part of our destiny. Whether the theory of quantum physics is completely correct or not, it doesn't really matter. We know that as his sons, we have the power to create. We're in a time of deliverance right now, and this deliverance has to do with our thinking, how we see, how we perceive. It's time to stop counter-creating and crossing out what God is doing in the earth by virtue of how we have seen everything around us. We have given substance and credence to what has been a lie, an illusion, and in so doing we have countered the very thing that God is doing and creating. But this is changing. Many years ago, a number of things came through in the Spirit as we began to gain momentum in moving down this path of sonship. One statement was that we should question everything that we see. Another was to understand that the power the mind has, our mind, to create illusion based upon our own reaction to the stimuli that we encounter. The more that we respond to the lies and the illusion, the more we create it. And we're not even addressing what's happening on a global scale right now. That is a whole nother chapter. Because on a global level, there has been a lot spoken about global consciousness and about what can be done if people are in a like-minded state of belief. And what we haven't seen is the incredible power that has been wielded by the governments and the media, with the satanic spirit world pulling the strings. And they can so easily create what they want the public to believe by the illusion they present. That illusion is then fostered and propagated, broadcast through every medium available. And in so doing, they begin to create, literally, a global consciousness almost overnight. And with that, a substantive reality. It may have been pure illusion at the onset, but by the time they're finished, this global consciousness has created a living entity, a living reality. This is what's happening every day right now. There is so much misinformation being generated, and it's creating a common paradigm within people globally, a consciousness that in itself begins to take on a life force. Recently we read by a retiring newspaper editor that he had quantified the fact that over 4 billion pieces of reporting globally daily are just lies and propaganda and illusion. I don't know how he came up with that number, but that is staggering. Even a fraction of that is staggering. And to understand that level of infiltration into this physical plane of deception and lies and illusion is going to have a cascading effect upon all of mankind as it continues to gain more and more momentum. The more the Lord begins to expose the deception and evil at the highest levels, the more you understand how much misinformation and illusion is constantly being propagated. The only truth in this hour about anything that is presently going on in the world will be the truth which the Spirit reveals. I wouldn't trust what I see, what I feel, or what I sense. And there's only one anchor, and that is what the Lord's revealing. If the Lord has not spoken concerning an issue, then, in my opinion, the jury's still out. We must refuse to look at anything based on the appearance of things, whether it concerns what's unfolding in the earth right now, or even how you may see yourself. We have still been in a process of growth. We're still seeing men to a degree as trees walking. But it's time for a deeper baptism that releases the sons into the reality of the mind of Christ. We have lived both under the lie and the truth, and this coexistence is going to come to an end. Concepts that people have held onto have hindered their ability to change because these concepts have acted like a filter through which you see. Interesting. Your concepts, your perceptions, your ideas act as a filter. And as you begin to see something, it goes through this filter. You cannot hear if your mind is so clogged with concepts. We must let go and hold on to one thing, the Lordship of Jesus Christ. The ability to see during this time will determine the capacity for people to move deeply into this time of the wise virgins. How did the Scripture speak about illusion? That they will call evil good and good evil. Isaiah 5. You could say that it's also the operation of the spirit of deception, for they tend to go hand in hand. You must be able to walk on a plane of spirit where you're able to discern and know the truth and see the lie for what it is. Once you see something for what it truly is and not what you've been led to believe, then the power that spirit has had over you is gone. When the spirit of illusion is removed, we will be left with an ability to know and experience the truth on a level that we've never known. A greater clarity and vision will begin to manifest and unfold for each of God's sons, as they will be able to rightly discern and know the truth. With this end of illusion, I believe we will see a breaking of the back of the spirit of delay. The spirit of delay, as referenced in the book Revelations, is kept alive and well by the acceptance of illusion. But with the end of illusion will come the end of delay. That's Revelations chapter 10. Then the angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land lifted up his right hand to heaven and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things in it, and earth and the things in it, and the sea and the things in it, that there will no longer be delay. With the removal of the operation of the spirit of illusion within the hearts and minds of people, specifically God's people, there will come a fulfillment on a level we've never known or experienced before. Eye hasn't seen and ear hasn't heard. It's 1 Corinthians 2. I believe that resurrection life is both here and attainable right now. Yet it's continued to remain an unfulfilled potential because we haven't been able to see what's right in our midst. We're not talking about a trickle of release. We're talking about a torrent of fulfillment that's coming. For what we will see will be the creation of a domino effect of fulfillment upon fulfillment.